I went through ESPN's entire ADP as if I was drafting early, middle, and late to pick out the absolute best player that I would take in each one of those spots in every single round so that you can absolutely dominate your ESPN draft this year. Now, if you don't draft on ESPN, that's all right. I got one coming for Yahoo and one for Sleeper as well. But if you're on ESPN and you want to crush your league, which I hope you do, this video is going to teach you exactly how I would do it on that platform. Now, I'm going to go through each draft slot one by one. So I'm going to start if I had an early slot, a middle slot, and a late slot. So if you already know you're picking middle or late, go ahead. I got timestamps. You can click those down below. But let's start with the early slot. And in round one, I'm taking Tyreek Hill over Christian McCaffrey even. That's how good I feel about Tyreek Hill. Look, before his week 14 injury last year, Tyreek Hill was smoking Christian McCaffrey in terms of points per game, was smoking everybody in terms of points per game. And I like the running backs we can get a little bit later from the early slot, so I'm going to pass on Christian McCaffrey and take the upside of Tyreek Hill. Now in round two, I'm going to take the discount on rookie Marvin Harrison Jr. This guy usually goes early second on most formats, but here we can get him going as pick number 21. I'm not worried about the fact that he's a rookie. He's attached to Kyler Murray. He's a phenomenal talent in a great offense. I think Marvin Harrison has the potential to be top 10 this year, so I'm going to take him at the end of round two. And then in round three, I'm going to reach a little bit on our running back, and that is Amon-Ra St of the Dolphins. Typically goes pick 31 on this site, but look, we need a running back. He's the kind of guy I'm okay building around as a hero RB, an anchor RB type of build. He's got the upside to be the overall RB1 when it's all said and done. So to me, getting him in the third round is a discount, so I'll reach a little bit to make sure we get him. Now in round four, we're taking wide receiver Devonta Smith at pick 46. I love this Eagles offense going into this season with new OC Kellen Moore. Look, Jalen Hurts has been absolutely incredible in camp and preseason so far. I know it's just preseason, but still, he looks great. I think this offense is going to rebound big time. I really like A.J. Brown, but I also really like Devonta Smith. So getting him in round four as our wide receiver 3, worth it. And then I can't believe in round 5 we can get Jalen Waddle at pick 49. This guy has the upside to be a top 10, top 15 wide receiver, and we're getting him in round 5 at pick 49. I don't know why he's discounted so much on ESPN, but take it if you have an early pick. In round 6, let's grab our QB, Kyler Murray. And no, I'm not doing this to get the stack with Marvin Harrison Jr., although that is nice, but I just think Kyler Murray can be a top 5 QB who we're getting at a bit of a discount here at pick 73. So getting the QB that has top 5 upside this late, I'll take it. And then around 7, we waited a while to get our RB2, but getting Brian Robinson Jr. at pick 77 shows why I'm not afraid to go hero RB. This is a guy who's going to be the lead back, a workhorse running back for the Commanders, and we're getting him at pick 77. Then in round 8 at pick 95, let's get another running back, Tyjae Spears. No, not a workhorse running back like Brian Robinson, but still going to be in a 50-50 with Tony Pollard, a true 50-50 here. And this guy is a great pass catcher, has explosive ability. So getting our RB3 at pick 95 with a guy like Spears makes a lot of sense. And then let's keep the running back run going in round 9 at pick 101 with Zach Moss, who probably will be the lead back for Cincinnati. I'll be honest, I like Chase Brown. I still think Chase Brown has potential, but I haven't liked what I've seen in preseason. I think the Bengals are just going to trust Zach Moss more, especially early in the year. So again, we're getting potentially another workhorse here at pick 101 as our RB4. Now let's take a quick break from running back in round 10 at pick 122 to grab an upside wide receiver in Jameson Williams. This guy could finally have that breakout this year in year 3. We're hearing such good buzz from Dan Campbell about this guy. Well worth the risk this late. Back to running back in round 11 with Gus Bus at pick 126. Again, another lead back for his team for what's probably going to be a very fantasy-friendly running offense with the Chargers. Love what they've done with the offensive line. Love the way these tight ends are blocking. This guy has double-digit touchdown upside, and he's now our RB5. And then finally, we punted tight end, but I'm okay with it because in round 12, at pick 140, we can get Pat Freiermuth as our tight end 1. I've talked this guy up. I think in this Arthur Smith offense, he has league-winning potential for a tight end. I don't think he's going to be, Travis Kelce 2.0 or anything. But if this guy can get you a decent floor with some upside when he scores touchdowns as a punted tight end that we took in the last round, that'll work. So that makes our team from an early pick: Kyler Murray at quarterback, Amon-Ra St, Brian Robinson Jr., Tyjae Spears, Zach Moss, and Gus Edwards at running back. So we have Amon-Ra St, a high upside hero RB. But then we have 4 guys behind him who are either the lead back on their team or in a true 50-50. So very happy with this running back room. And then, of course, we have Tyreek Hill, Marvin Harrison Jr., Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle, Jameson Williams at wide receiver. oozing with upside at wide receiver. And no, I am not scared to have 3 Dolphins. This is one of the best offenses in the NFL. Not a problem for me. And then Pat Freiermuth at tight end. I think this team should be great from week 1 till the end of the season. Now, if I'm picking from the middle, the guy I'm starting my team with is Amon-Ra St. Brown at pick 6. I've talked this guy up, hyped him up all offseason. I truly think he can be the wide receiver 1, so give me Amon-Ra at pick 6. In round 2, let's grab a running back, Derrick Henry at pick 17. No problem with this guy as our RB1 in Baltimore. Like, are we going to see a 1,500-yard season from Derrick Henry? Probably not, but he's going to go over 1,000 yards, probably close to 15 touchdowns. Well worth it in the second round as our RB1. And then in round 3 at pick 32, let's take the discount on Drake London. And what I mean is on other sites, this is a guy who goes early second round. We're going to get him in the third round as our wide receiver 2 in what should be a much better offense with, yes, a significantly better quarterback. So Drake London at pick 32 will be our wide receiver 2. And then in round 4, let's grab another running back here because I love Kenneth Walker at pick 44. I think Kenneth Walker can be a league-winning running back this year. We're hearing from this new staff, this new OC, that they're going to use him in the passing game as a pass catcher. If that's true, Kenneth Walker can truly win fantasy leagues, so I'm not going to let him slip. I'm going to take him in round 4 as our RB2. Round 5, I don't often go elite tight end, but if I can get Dalton Kincaid at pick 54, I'm going elite tight end. Another guy I think could be the top scoring player at his position, be the wide receiver 1, or I guess the wide receiver 1 in Buffalo, however you want to say it. But look, Dalton Kincaid, pick 54, gives us another guy that has the potential to be the top scorer at his position. Now, sometimes we do have to take a little bit of risk. So in round 6, at pick 66, let's go with George Pickens as our wide receiver 3. Tons and tons of upside here. Yeah, he could be volatile, but as our wide receiver 3, I'm okay with it, especially because in round 7, at pick 78, we can get Terry McLaurin. Sure, he might also be a little bit volatile with Jaden Daniels, but I don't think he's going to be. I think he's going to get hammered with targets. Now that Jahan Dotson is gone, there is nobody that I'm even worried about taking significant targets from Terry McLaurin. This guy could be one of the leaders in targets this year. Love getting him as our wide receiver 4. And then in round 8, another running back I've been talking up as a potential league winner, Javonte Williams at pick 93 as our RB3. He's going to be the workhorse running back in Denver for whatever that's worth, but still pass catching upside is tremendous in this Sean Payton offense. So give me Javonte Williams, pick 93 in round 8. And then we need a quarterback. Quarterbacks go so early on ESPN. I am fine just waiting until pick 105 and getting Caleb Williams. This guy has looked all the part of a generational talent. Could be one of the best quarterbacks for years to come. And look, he's surrounded by talent. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, Swift in the backfield, Cole Kmet, one of the best offensive lines. No reason to think he can't be as good or better than CJ Stroud was last year. Then in round 10, let's take a massive injury discount on Hollywood Brown. Pick 116. Like, he's not missing the season here, people. He's missing 3, maybe 4 games at the most, and then he's coming back to this Chiefs offense for the rest of the season. Yeah, this is a steal. Give me the injury discount at pick 116. And then in round 11 at pick 123, even though we have 3 really solid running backs, it never hurts to grab another one. Let's grab a handcuff, Blake Corum, probably the best handcuff in all of fantasy football, because anything happens to Kyron Williams, this guy is going to step into a workhorse role for a Sean McVay Rams offense. We know how good that is. So Blake Corum as our RB4 gives us tremendous upside should anything happen to Kyron. And then finally in round 12 at pick 143, we're going to finish with one more wide receiver that I'm finally coming around on, and that is Jacoby Myers. I think he fits Gardner Minshew's noodle arm perfectly in this offense. He's going to get those easy over-the-middle targets, while Devontae Adams screams that he's wide open down the field, but Minshew can't throw it to him because he doesn't have that kind of arm strength. So Jacoby Myers with our last pick, I like it. So that makes our team from the middle picks, Caleb Williams at quarterback, which I know some people are going to think is risky, but I think is just fine. Then we got Derrick Henry, Kenneth Walker, Javonte Williams, and Blake Corum at running back. Feel great about that running back room. We have 3 workhorse running backs, plus one of the highest end handcuffs. At wide receiver, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Drake London, George Pickens, Terry McLaurin, Hollywood Brown, Jacoby Myers, upside, upside, upside. That is what you want at wide receiver. And we were able to land an elite tight end in Dalton Kincaid. Again, a guy who I think could be the tight end 1 this year if everything breaks right. So love this team from the middle spot. Do you want to win your fantasy league but don't have time to do all the research? Are you tired of drafting mediocre teams and then having to constantly hope you hit it big on the waiver wire just to compete? Do you wish you could have a fantasy expert like Pierre or myself with you while you draft? Well, now you can. With our app Draft Lane and our live draft pilot, we will guide you through every pick of your draft and tell you exactly which players we would pick if we were on the clock. Our proprietary algorithm will take into account your league settings, scoring, and roster requirements to identify the best picks every time you are on the clock to ensure you have a winning team from week one. It's the closest thing you can get to having us there drafting with you. Get the biggest edge in fantasy football. Just go to your app store and search for Draft Lane and download it today and get ready to dominate your draft. Now, a lot of people think picking towards the end is a disadvantage, but I actually really like it, especially when you can get a guy like Justin Jefferson with your first pick. Now, technically, he's going as pick 8 on ESPN, but I've seen drafts where he goes pick 10 or even later, so there's a good chance you can get him late. I guess people are worried about the J.J. McCarthy injury, but was J.J. McCarthy the real reason you were in on Justin Jefferson? He wasn't going to start the season. There was no guarantee he was going to come in and just light it up. And look, there's still Nick Mullins there if Sam Darnold struggles. I think Jefferson is QB proof. Give me Jefferson in the back half of round 1. And then give me Jahmyr Gibbs early in the second round at pick 14. Again, I think people are just worried about the hamstring here. I've seen him go pick 15, pick 16 in drafts. Look, he's fine. Dan Campbell's already said he's fine. He's going to be good to go week 1. He missed 2 games with a hamstring last year, came back, was totally fine. This guy's going to be great from week 1 on, has RB1 upside. I'll take him early second. And then at round 3, I'm grabbing DK Metcalf, pick 36. I've talked about him in this offense. I think he truly can be a league-winning type of player this year. They're going to use way more pre-snap motion, way more play action. This is going to be such a more modern, dynamic offense than we're used to with Pete Carroll. I think we're going to see the best of DK Metcalf this year. Then in round 4 at pick 40, I'm going with wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. This guy was going like mid-second earlier in the offseason before all this contract trade drama, but it's looking like he's going to be a 49er. In the last preseason game, he traveled with the team even though he wasn't playing. Would he really do that if he thought he was going to get traded or not be on the 49ers? He's going to be a 49er. This is a guy who should be going a round or 2 higher, so let's take him in round 4. And then in round 5, even though it feels early to me, let's grab Ramondre Stevenson at pick 57 as our RB2. The problem here is that there's not a lot of running backs that are going to come to us in the next few rounds, so we better grab one now in Ramondre Stevenson, a guy I like this year because of that pass catching in this Patriots offense. I think he's going to be better than people think. As our RB2, happily take him at pick 57. Then around 6 at pick 61, let's grab our tight end, Kyle Pitts. I know this is going to terrify you to take Kyle Pitts, but everything is there for Kyle Pitts to break out this year and be a stud. He's healthy. He's in this new Falcons offense. He's got Kirk Cousins. He's still very young. He still has tons of potential. I'm willing to gamble on the Kyle Pitts breakout in round 6. Then in round 7, let's get our wide receiver 4, Jaden Reed at pick 86. This guy usually goes a round or 2 higher on other sites, so I'm going to take the discount here on a guy who may or may not be the Packers wide receiver 1, but as our wide receiver 4, flex type of play, he's going to give us great weekly upside. Then in round 8 at pick 89, let's grab running back Raheem Mostert. Not sure why he's still such a value this year. I mean, I guess people are worried that last year was a fluke and he's going to get hurt again, which, look, it's possible. He's not going to score 21 touchdowns again, I know that, but he can still get double-digit touchdowns in this offense, and he's our RB3 in round 8. And then in round 9, we're going to go quarterback with rookie Jaden Daniels. Again, QBs go so early on this site. I am fine just waiting and getting Jaden Daniels. I mean, this guy earned the starting job early in the offseason. He's looked the part in preseason. He's got that rushing upside. He could get hurt. Running quarterbacks do get hurt. If you're worried about it, draft another quarterback later in the draft to back him up. And then around 10, let's get another workhorse running back, Jerome Ford, at pick 124 of the Browns. He's going to start the season as the clear RB1 for Cleveland. And look, Nick Chubb, if he comes back, is going to have to be eased back into action. He's not going to be the same guy coming off that knee injury at his age. He just isn't. I think Jerome Ford can be the guy from week 1 till the end of the season. Then in round 11, let's take an upside shot on another running back, Chase Brown, at pick 128. If you watch the draft I did from the early pick, I did talk about Chase Brown. I'm a little bit nervous about him. I don't like what I'm seeing in preseason so far, but the upside is still there. I'm willing to bet on it. So let's take him round 11 as our final running back. And then in round 12, let's finish with rookie wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. at pick 131. I've talked about this guy as a must-draft wide receiver. I think he's going to be the wide receiver 1 for the Jags. I think he's going to have a great first season. And we're getting him with our last pick. So that gives our team with a late pick, Jaden Daniels at QB, Jahmyr Gibbs, Ramondre Stevenson, Raheem Mostert, Jerome Ford, and Chase Brown at running back. That's 4 starting running backs plus a potential upside RB2. And then we've got Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, Brandon Ayuk, Jaden Reed, and Brian Thomas Jr. at wide receiver. Again, just oozing upside at wide receiver. This is the kind of wide receiver room you want. And then we took a chance on Kyle Pitts, potentially breaking out and having a huge tight end season. Again, if you're scared to draft Pitts, grab another tight end later to back him up just in case. Now, I did say I'm also going to do this for Yahoo and Sleeper, but if you're watching this the day it came out, well, those videos aren't up yet. But if it's the day after or later, they are, and you can find the Yahoo one right here.